Right. So recently, many like Lagosians have been complaining about the dumping and the piling up of refuse. The Lagos state government has on their part handed over the collection of refuse to a private company. Unfortunately, that efforts seem to be unfelt by citizens. Joining us on the show is the head product development, sustainability, and corporate social responsibility of Visionscape, Maimuna Maibu. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you for
Good to have
having
you
me.
on. So we also spoke to the special advisor to the governor on Cleaner Lagos initiative, but unfortunately he couldn't make it because they're having a program right now. So he sent his apologies. We're hoping that both of them will be on set to give us better explanation, but I think Maimuna should be able to do justice to this conversation. So, Visionscape, we're told, took over the Cleaner Lagos, and many of us understand that there will always be teething period. There are times where you need to take your time to get things around.
Right.
Tell us what's going on right now with collection in Lagos, because people are complaining that they're not getting their dumps picked up.
Right. First of all, let me just tell you what Visionscape purview is under the Cleaner Lagos initiative.
Okay.
So the Cleaner Lagos initiative is an initiative under the Ministry of Environment. The Lagos State felt there was a need for them to update the environmental law, so they reviewed it to update it and make it more current in terms of bringing in the right investors and bringing in the expertise to be able to kind of manage waste effectively in Lagos. Right. So under that umbrella, the PSPs exist, Visionscape exists as well. So Visionscape put in a proposal, and there was an RFP that was out, put in a proposal for residential and general waste collection. So under the CLI, the Cleaner Lagos initiative, the Visionscape is only doing residential and general waste collection, while the other contractors continue doing commercial premises and industrial areas. Okay. So that's the division.
The former ones?
Yes.
Continue. Okay, that's why our own waste is always collected at Shrine.
So, yes, so they're doing commercial and industrial areas, while we do the door-to-door, house-to-house in the residential areas.
So the scope of Visionscape is within the metropolis or and round every other part of Lagos?
Residential areas, yes.
There are more of in which most people would tend the outskirts of Lagos. We've not felt Visionscape. I have hardly seen a Visionscape truck in the residential areas. At first, is highly residential. So we're waiting to see when Visionscape will be in those areas as well. So I want to understand the extent of your coverage
currently. Yes. Okay, currently what happened was coming into Lagos and us commencing operations. So coming in, it took us about a year to do the planning process. We needed to kind of completely remap Lagos for us to be able to offer effective and efficient service. So that took us a few months to do. We needed to kind of put boundaries on each ward so we know how many trucks it's required to service different communities, and also to understand the different needs in terms of waste generation and the population density in certain areas. So we did that. And with the certain service gaps that they're currently experiencing is because there were certain operators that were not efficient before. So they were not, sorry?
Your own operators?
No, the existing operators before. That was the reason for even looking for a company like Visionscape to come in and invest, bring in the right number of trucks and the expertise to be able to...
Go ahead.
I wanted to say, before Visionscape started, like how long you guys have started now, and we used to have the PSP and the LOMA come regularly to residential areas and pick up waste. Now with the Visionscape now, the PSP guys are not even coming as much as often as they used to come. The LOMA, we hardly see them. Where they used to come once in a week every time to pick up. Now, once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks, you have to keep calling and chasing them. So is there like a clash? Do they really understand that you guys are handling it? And do you have the capability to handle the
Are you fighting Gidigbo with them?
In a nutshell.
No, I mean, I can't speak to the relationship with the state government. I can only speak to Visionscape's purview and our relationship with the state government. We have no issues with any PSPs. We just have our area of operations that we're focusing on.
Since we're focusing on only Visionscape, I wondered why you'd apply. You said you brought a proposal, and because there was a public
request for
that, you brought a proposal, and it will still take you a year to map out Lagos, because within that period of time, of course, there's a default period and waste would accumulate, and which is what we're seeing, we're suffering from it in Lagos now. Lagos looks dirty. And even in residential areas, you're still having problem covering certain areas. So those areas, of course, there's a default. So I wonder why you had to take that long to map out when, if it was your side of business before.
We actually commenced service 1st of January this year.
Okay.
So that mapping out was just us doing it before the commencement of service, not that service had started and then we took 6 months to map out Lagos. So we were doing that from July till December, and then we started service 1st of January.
All right, we're told that, I mean, from reports that I got, saying that the contract or the proposal you brought to the Lagos State government was to provide 700 trucks.
500, yeah.
Well, 500, 700 trucks, but right now you only have 100.
Right.
How and when do we expect the other trucks so that we can at least reach out to the rest of Lagos?
It was, and when that came in, it was clearly structured that we were going to receive delivery by batches. So in terms of waste collection and the specialized trucks that we need to bring, you cannot go to a manufacturer and you can't get 500 trucks in the showroom to buy. They have to be purpose-built. The chassis is coming from one country and the superstructure at the back is coming from another country. That was also understood. So we brought in 100. Every month or every other month, we're getting delivery of trucks before we make up the figures that we're going to make up.
That's probably the reason why we can't reach the whole of Lagos right now.
I mean, we are reaching the whole of Lagos, but not as much as we would like to.
I've never seen...
You know, there are some that sweep, like 3rd Mainland Bridge.
Street sweepers.
Are you doing that as well?
No, that's another contract under the CLI. It's not Vision Scape.
Okay, now I'm told that the dump sites are all the way in Badagry and Ekpe. So if you pick up dirt, before you drive there, dump, and come back, it takes forever. So that's probably why we see piling up. Is that correct?
That's why there are also transfer loading stations. There's one around Surah. I don't know if you've noticed it. Surah, if you're coming down 3rd Mainland on the right, there's the one with Vision Scape on it. There's one in Agege and there's one in Oshodi. So those transfer loading stations are actually designed as a stopgap. So the smaller trucks are servicing the communities, don't have to travel all the way to Ekpe to dump. And also Ekpe landfill is just the only one that's concession to Vision Scape. There's one, the one on Ojota, Olusosun is there. There's one in Igondo, there's one in Badagry. So different companies are managing those ones.
We really don't know how long these, before your trucks, all of your trucks come in so that your job can be effective and we can manage our waste. But in the interim, don't you think there's a way you can probably partner for a while with the PSP, who's been on ground before, so that they can keep doing what they're doing until you guys find your feet? Because I mean,
the reason why we haven't reached the households, there's a reason for that. There's now a sudden upsurge of black spots, which are the illegal dump sites. So before we reach to start doing door-to-door, it's better for us to clean the highways and the dump sites first. The PSPs are still working and cleaning the commercial areas. So
cleaning the dump sites. And all the dump sites now are in areas that, you know, that are obvious.
Residential, yeah, sure.
And it's irritating that, you know, you have to see them along the roads. Even all the way to the island, you have dump sites on the road. I must say that, you know, this morning we read that, you know, some people are sabotaging your effort, but that is besides the point. What is your plan to rid us of the waste along the roadside, even if it's a CSR on your part?
That's actually our first point of call. That's why you haven't actually felt us doing door-to-door yet. Our main focus right now, what we're doing is focusing on those dump sites. I don't know if you've seen Vision Scape trucks. Mostly we work at night because it's easier, there was no traffic, and then you have our excavators and our payloaders excavating the waste and taking it to the transfer loading stations.
So what the houses, while you are doing the dump sites, what are their houses going to be doing with their own waste?
Vision Scape is providing each household in Lagos free bins. We're currently deploying. Some households already have it. We're in the process. No problem. Give me your address and deliver the bins.
What I'm saying is till you do that, what do they do?
How do we manage the waste?
No, we're actually getting to certain areas. It's not all. We haven't covered everywhere yet. But we have larger bins. We have waste bags that we give every household to be able to contain your waste.
Have you got yours?
Okay, we're going to take a break.
We can get your addresses and
we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go to the audience, because these are Nigerians, these are Lagosians. They live here and they all have experiences. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to members of the audience. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to
So, thank you. So great to have our amazing audience in the studio. But now, yes, coming back, yes. YK had a comment.
A comment. Yes. My own comment is very different. It's because I don't know whether I walk with rose-tinted glasses or I'm blind or I've never seen any...
Visionscape truck.
No, dump. All these dump that everybody is talking about, I'm like, hey, where are they? I haven't seen them. Alaska is Ogun State.
That's why.
We are walking.
That means Visionscape is working.
No, please. I see dump sites.
Right.
Hey,
I wonder what you need to do to partner with the law enforcement agencies to have what we read in the papers this morning about PSP. Right. About 4 of them this morning are being prosecuted by Lagos State for sabotaging your efforts. So when you pick up, they dump in areas where, you know, are not, they're not good because they're obvious areas. Yes. What are you doing to, you know, partner law enforcement agencies to see that that stops? Along Badagry Expressway, we'll see a sweep and dump by the side of the road. It's still there. And the market women are also doing that. So what are you doing with law enforcement agency? And there's a task force on environment in Lagos. Yes, what are you doing with that team as well?
All right.
So under the new revamped environmental law, so the former KAI was now also rebranded as LAGESC, Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps. Okay. So we're working hand in hand with them to enforce dump site areas that we've cleaned. So they station their people there to try and do some sort of advocacy to the people around there and also prevent them from further dumping. And it's good that you touched up on markets as well. So initially, our purview is to do residential and general waste collection, meaning residential areas and just the highways. So eventually, markets and public schools was now added to our purview, which was not part of the plan initially. Right. So that's one of the things that we're still trying to settle, meaning getting more fleet to be able to cover markets and public schools.
All right, we're going to go to the audience now. Laide is standing by with the audience. Laide, do you have anybody with some comments?
Yes, I do. But before I start, let me quickly say, when they keep saying residential areas, you know how in the George Orwell book that they said animals are equal, some are more equal than others? It seems some residential areas are more residential than others. So I don't understand what that is. I'm sure you are feeling me, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want to pass a comment. Okay. I want to acknowledge the Lagos State government and the Cleaner Lagos initiative in conjunction with Visionscape. I've been seeing that truck all around my area, K2 area.
Where do you stay?
K2. Okay. Yeah, they've been doing
a really great job. Where they live. But the politicians where they live, Magodo. So definitely
they'll expect that from you at all. That's not what I wanted to hear. Auntie, if you could reach out to, not you, sir. Sorry.
What's your name? Sorry. Oh, thank you, Basirat. Thank you.
Good morning.
I've never seen your truck.
Let's hear. Go ahead.
Morning.
I Bariga. I've never seen them.
The only place I see them, Bariga. It's not posh.
Bariga. The only place I see them is at Bagada, and I think that is only the hybrid areas. They don't go to any other places at all, and I don't know why. In my street, in my compound, since December up till now, we still have our refuse there.
Wow, so that's Bariga area.
And also, can I just answer that? And
excuse me. Okay. The KAI people, they don't educate anybody. What they do is to catch people that dump refuse and then beat them up. That's all they do at Bariga.
Thank you. All right, very good. So that's Bariga. Let's let her respond to that.
You want to respond first?
Just to answer that. Also, Visionscape being effective in certain areas is also a function of your previous operator. And now maybe there was no efficiency in that area, and also there was a service gap in that area. Because of that, there's probably dump sites that we're cleaning, that we're concentrating most of our time there. So house to house, I can assure you that we're coming. You just need to be patient. And in terms of advocacy and us talking to you, there's going to be this thing called COREC, Visionscape Educational Centers that's going to be in every local government and every LCDA. So you can walk in, there's going to be collection schedules eventually. Right. So in Bariga now, once you have your collection schedule, you know which days of the week Visionscape is going to be coming. It might be Tuesday, Thursday, that's going to be rolled out eventually. So please, we're coming.
But with the 100 trucks right now, do you have them designated to certain areas so that we have, okay, Bariga for now, we know they have 3 trucks or 1 truck.
Yes.
Do you have those numbers?
There's a schedule, yes. There's a schedule that's spread across. And also we have, in terms of we know that bringing in the trucks is taking time.
Right.
So what we've done is we've actually sourced locally as well. We bought trucks, the larger trucks that are moving, that are cleaning the dump sites. We bought that locally about 2 weeks ago.
All right, let me take Yakub
just
then
to
I'll
add
come
to our
to
fleet.
Yakub, are you there?
I'm there. Where are you?
Thanks for calling.
Good morning,
Yakub. Yes.
Depends on the area that you are staying. Here in Dokpemu is working, Dokpemu is clean. Are you getting it? Because it depends which area you are staying. For example, now, somebody that's staying in CGC now, I think you cannot complain that there's a residence in CGC. Yeah. They will pack everything there. Then, Sister Yeni, I heard you said earlier that Ogun State is working. I would like you to travel from Toge down to Abeokuta and then come back to
I didn't say it's working. I was just making a joke. I was making a joke.
Thank you very much, Yakub.
I know my problem.
Thank you very much, Yakub. All right,
quickly ask, Lagos State is over 20 million. And what is your staff strength? What is your capacity to handle the whole of Lagos State? In as much as you're looking, your scope is just the
700
residential. What staff strength are you sure you can handle, or do you need partners?
Okay, initially what happened with the 20 or 22 million? So we're working, our baseline, we're working with the 22 million.
Okay.
So with that 22 million, looking at the number of residential premises in Lagos, and also looking at, we also looked at the population density and waste generation per person per day. Okay. So per person per day, according to our calculation, is about 0.5 kg per person per day, which takes us to about 11,000 metric tons. So that's what informed the number of fleet we were going to buy to be able to cover the entire state and render service at least once a week. There's certain areas that, based on our calculation, because of the density of the people that live there, we actually have to do twice a week to cover the entire LCDA ward in that area.
Let me take this call from Wally, then I'll come to the audience. Wally, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
And, quickly, in the first place, the government, Lagos State government, should be condemned for this vision scope and whatever that came up. In the first place, when you see a system is working and it's working very well, the only thing you could do is to take it to the next step by making it work better. But where a system is working and you are closing and you are shutting that system that is working, then there is something wrong. In as much as Visionscape had come in to stay, what perhaps Lagos State could have done is to have integrated the PSP with Visionscape. How they could have done that is that let's now create a line whereby there's a report line that let all these PSP whatever go pick up the refuse, pass it on to Visionscape for effective management of this waste.
Right.
Not a situation whereby the system was working, all of a sudden you shut down that system, and we have to be paying cash pushers. I pay cash pushers, and I'm ready to say this anywhere, even before the governor. I pay cash pushers to come and evacuate refuse from my house because I cannot have another epidemic at home.
Right.
So,
thank you very much, Wale. That's a valid question. I think we should for the Lagos State government because they are the ones that kind of initiated this partnership with the various companies. So we're going to pose that question to them, but unfortunately they couldn't make it to the show today. Let me go back to Laide and get a few more comments, and I'll come to YK. Yes.
YK, we'll come back to you. Like he said, why were they necessary in the first place when we already had a working system? You had a comment? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm Bilo Monsoro. Concerning these vision skills, is just that I want I'm not talking about the system, but I want individuals to please manage their well-being very well. And because mothers as well should stop self-medication on their children. Because when I live in Alimosho at Amuwadofin Industrial Estate, if you look about how mothers take care of self-medication on their children, it's causing a lot of problem to them because they don't want to spend money earlier than later.
Right, okay. Fantastic. So that's a valid
medication has
because just YK.
Going through the tweets, and they are really, everyone is really against Visionscape, and I don't want to embarrass you, but well, maybe I should just read a few. I think it's impossible for one company to handle the whole of residential Lagos. In my opinion, even the cart pushers shouldn't be banned. Rather, license and give them these kits and tell them how and where to dump the waste. Okay. Cleaner Lagos, this is Kingsley. Cleaner Lagos should step up before their efforts in order to prevent the spread of epidemic in the state.
Okay, okay, you know what? There are a lot of questions for Lagos State government. As I don't want to put her in the position where she's answering for Lagos State government. So we might have to have a part 2 of this. Hopefully, I don't know if it's needed, but maybe let's bring them and let them talk about the Cleaner Lagos initiative and see if indeed their partnership with these companies can actually effectively clear up our waste in Lagos. Let me let Nima come in.
Okay, I wanted to talk about you know, what we do with the waste, because you mentioned dump sites in Ekpe. And I'm used to the dump site at Alimosho, the one in Igondo. It's a terrible epidemic waiting to happen. Yes. The environment in that area is, you know, we're waiting for a disaster to happen there. What plans do you have with the waste? Is there a proper recycling method or, you know, or separation method? Because I remember Loma under the former Governor Fashola had a separation method where medical waste were taken differently, things, and there was proper recycling. So what plans does Visionscape have towards this kind of thing to have proper recycling?
So the reason why Visionscape was actually chosen as the sole residential contractor was because of the expertise that we're going to bring in terms of refurbishing and upgrading the current facilities. So we took concession of the 3 transfer loading stations, which serves as a stopgap for waste collection and waste compacting to move to the landfill. We also took concession of the dump site at Ekpe. So what that dump site is going to essentially be doing is to be we're turning it into an engineered landfill site. So it's an 88-hectare land, and we're turning it into an eco-park. So an eco-park is going to have a material recovery facility, a compost plant, and a recycling facility. So there's going to be, we've actually just concluded constructing the weighbridge. So the weighbridge, each truck that comes in would be measured, and we know what quantity of waste it's carrying and which location in Lagos it's coming from. Right. So from that weighbridge, we get to the material recovery facility. It dumps on a conveyor, and it sorts mechanically and manually sorts the different types of waste. And also, sorry, just to add, the existing scavengers scavenging on that side would actually be formally rehabilitated and incorporated into our system.
That's good news. Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take more tweets and phone calls. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thank you. What an amazing audience we have in the studio today. So let's take some tweets. YK.
Okay. Yes, let me just take this one. Wallahi, you are absolutely correct. That Visionscape company is just a visionary company on paper. I'm very sure they grammatically induced the proposal they sent to Ambodeni. They have been really terrible.
Folabi Adebakin says the dump site at Igondo is a no-go area. The PSP truck driver says they stay for 3 to 4 days before they can offload their trash. And Aremu Wale Williams said, I don't think this landscape lady knows how big Lagos is. You just received 100 trucks out of 500. So Follow Lagos stopped PSP from servicing residential areas without Visionscape having the capacity to cover Lagos.
Okay, let's take this.
Okay, Oluwafemi says, with 100 trucks and 57 local governments, LCDAs, it means we have 1.75 trucks to clean every local government or LCDA. Visionscape is not doing enough. The second person, Ademola, says, have you asked yourself how dumps on major routes come to be? Listen good, you don't expect people to leave dumps at their frontages for weeks and months, and nobody shows up to clear the bins in residential
areas. They've told us several times that it's in batches. They don't plan to only have 100 trucks. Eventually, we're going to have 500 trucks, but the company that is making the trucks can't make 500 at a go, right?
What so they got 100 before the trucks come.
So that's what you're saying, that we're hoping we can partner with the Lagos State, with other private sector companies.
That's why they are saying they use grammar. It's grammar they used to say, look, we can do this. And then everyone was like, wow, yeah. But
it happens. With discos, when it came, initially, everything fell apart. But
eventually what? Have they brought any light?
Eventually, there's a stabilization period.
Yes,
look, it's a transition.
Stabilization period.
There's a gap.
Let me go to our guest from Just. Yes, go ahead, please.
My name is Yemi Ojo. We must, first of all, remove corruption and the enigma of corruption as it comes with it. Lagos is the gateway to not just Nigeria, but Africa as a whole. And if we come into Lagos and see a whole lot of filth and debt everywhere, it smacks incompetence on governance and the administration of governance. We should be decisive in actions, and we should be able to hold such people as Visionscape to account and make sure that coming to say that for now there are 100 trucks, that is not an excuse at all. There should have been procedures, there should have been processes before the implementation of all of this. So going forward, there should be a restructuring of operations of this company. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Honestly, you could actually, I've been talking all day. Yeah. I will be just hearing you. Just keep talking.
I mean, this guy, I must say, there's no need to give anybody else the microphone because you spoke our mind.
Mariah alluded to the fact that the discourse were overwhelmed.
The governor is going to call you people today.
They were overwhelmed before, you know, they got used to
query you people today.
The Nigerian problem at the time when the discourse came. In Lagos particularly, there's this fear when it comes to the largest local government, you know, of largest residential local government, which is Alimosho. Lagos knows for a fact that is one of the largest local governments. Why is it that whenever a job is about to start, Alimosho seems to be the last to start?
That's not a question for Visionscape.
Did this course have a problem with that local government, and now you? Because there's a twist.
Nima, that's not a question for her. That's for the Lagos State. So
Visionscape.
We're
actually focusing on residential areas, right?
Nima, I think the appropriate person to handle that question is Lagos State, because they are the ones that actually map out this for Lagos State. So let me take this call.
This is my first time calling. I'll be forever. I like to see you again. Now it's Banana Island. And
Banana Island.
Nima, I think you are going to forever seeing those trash on the road, because if they say it's going to take them, they are still parking the ones on the road. What of the one in the house? That means people will keep dumping on the highways, because you don't expect people to keep dumping their houses, right? So they are going to keep dumping on.
How is Banana Island your area?
It's going to take them forever to clear those ones.
Do you see Visionscape in your area?
Trucks and get them fast, or else I don't know what's going to happen in Lagos, because everywhere now my landlord in my flat, when they share those dustbins, what we heard was they give one to each house. We have like 8 flats in my house, and they gave the house opposite. They didn't give our own flat, which means we can't use the one opposite, because that is even a tenement residence. So at the end of the day, what happened to the trash in my own house? The landlord has stopped us from putting trash downstairs. We have to be coming to use those abokis that are parking the dustbin. Okay. And oftentimes they come and raid the area and park those abokis.
Is this Banana Island?
No, Shomolu. I thought it was Banana.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I want to add to what she's saying about the cat carriers. I don't think the banning of those cat carriers is working right now, because a lot of us still engage their services when you don't have anybody coming to pick up your waste.
What would you say to that?
I think that's a Lagos State issue. I think they've been banned a long time ago, even before this restructuring of this bill.
Okay.
I think it's the state, it's the
Let's take one final comment from the audience. Lady, do you have anybody there for us?
I do. He's been waiting for so long.
Yes, our Port Harcourt guest. Yes.
So. I'm sure you're Ibrahim Oladipo from Port Harcourt. Yeah, to the lady, I will blame you for 2 and commend you for 1.
Okay.
The 2, number 1, your reconnaissance survey and feasibility study, they were poor. Perhaps maybe because you have not been in Lagos. Maybe you are new to Lagos. That's the meaning of this. If you are not, then the feasibility study is poor. Then the second one, then on the issue of trucks, you don't need to have 1,000 trucks. You have guys that have trucks out there. Dangote is not the owner of all those trucks you are saying. So just get those guys, get their truck and make use of them. The 100 you have, you can get from others. Then the one that I will commend you, if truly on the recycling, if truly that's what you have, that's lovely. Okay. Because we want to go.
You know, we speak to the masses here. And your English was kind of confusing for me.
But honestly, I think, in a nutshell, in fairness to Visionscape, I mean, they just started operations in January. All right? So, yes, hanging there. I agree with our just fellow that there's maybe more research should have gone into it before even launching it all. Yes. So they need to probably restructure their operational plans, and so we can know exactly what the future would hold for waste in Lagos State. But I think we should give them credit that you won't started operations. So we hope that in the next few months, things get better. And I'm glad that you're working in the residential area. So we're going to close right now. I'd like you to leave our audience and our viewers also with some message from Visionscape.
Hope that you have vision.
We definitely have vision. Visionscape is here because we have the technical capacity and the expertise to do the job. We do. It's a transition period. There's a service gap. We need to be able to bridge that gap. And the reason why we're here was because of the funding we're bringing to the table, the right trucks, and the technical expertise. As I said earlier, we have local content is very important to us as a company. I know we have a lot of foreigners working with us, but the strategy is for them to do a technical and technology transfer to the local staff like us to be able to kind of meet the international best standards that we're going for as a company. So our appeal with Lagosians to be patient. Visionscape, it's coming. We have the right capacity to collect the waste. It's going to be a transition period. We want everybody to be patient. We're reaching out to the communities to understand your waste generation pattern, and we're giving you bins, we're giving you waste bags. So please be patient. Visionscape is coming. If you need to reach us, please tweet at us and call our toll-free line.
So we'll send all their details. We'll send all the details online. We heard that you're the company that cleaned up Dubai. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
we have
if you go to Dubai, they can clean up Dubai. Trust me. Be patient.
They'll
clean up Lagos.
Yes. You should see me at the dump site. I'm not this posh at the dump site. You should see me at the dump site.
So that's all. Thank you so much. So our live audience, thank you very much for coming. Always a pleasure having you. And to Laide, Alabi, so good to have you. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Right, so that's all we can take. If you want to be part of our live audience, please come early on Wednesdays. We're always here to receive you. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.